Howdy folks, WindyCityThetanWatch. We are live here on Monday afternoon, April 1st. I have no April Fool's Days shenanigans for you. As I'm walking over to the org, we're a couple of blocks away. I just want to go through some of yesterday's events. So yesterday, came down to the org, felt like maybe it was 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit later in the morning. And what I didn't know is that they were having an Easter event. And it was something that I assumed that they had flyers out either in newspapers or they did mailers or something of that nature to let people know that there would be a special children's event at the organization. Everybody in the organization had the bunny ears on. They had little baskets full of jelly beans or candies for the kids. Some of the people that we usually see in uniform they had nice dress on or civilian dresses on. So, hello, Heather. And Lavender, great to see you in here. And I was really struggling because I had the sign out yesterday, and the sign has all the crime, well, not all, it has many of the crimes of Scientology. And then underneath each one of the crimes, I listed an example. You know, Miriam Francis, Aaron for disconnection, the child abuse, right? So with Sergio. So, you know, there's some receipts on that. And as these families, good morning, girl. As these families are coming in, it was disheartening I would tell them these stories and they would just walk by. And I was like, for jelly beans, you're going to subject your kids to this? How irresponsible, right? And I understand that not everybody knows the travesties of what this church does. But it was very disheartening on that. So one of the fathers came out and he had a chat with me, and it was sort of like, hey, are they being accused of this, or are they actually being charged with this? And it's like, hey, they're being charged and convicted of these things. So there was that. And then additionally, the idea that the one father came out. I was like, well, what about Jeffrey Epstein, and what about the rap star that just got kind of popped? P. Diddy. Maybe he's not a rap star. But good morning, Ellie. And it was sort of like, even after hearing all of this, he's like, oh, okay. And he goes back in with his family. I was deflated a little bit that people were that cavalier with their children in that regard. So, Juanita was down there too? Nice. Now, I would say that there was a very positive thing that happened yesterday. As I was there, I looked at one of my chat comments, and if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we were out there and the recruiting teams were out in full force, and there was a young man who had come out of the organization, and he was followed quick. He had a piece of paper, and he was followed very quickly by one of the org members. Jessica was that org member, and she really did everything she could to shepherd him away from. It was myself, Israel, and another neighbor person who knew the travesties of the church and was there to support us. And we walked down the street, and she grabbed him by the arm. I have a short on this. I put a short up this morning, so you've got a shorter clip of it. And I was trying to let him know all of the crimes. I say all of the crimes. Just a list of crimes of the church, which any one of them, if was true, you should have been, I don't like this at all. But he sent me a note yesterday, and he said, hey, I was the guy in this film at 31 minutes. And I just want everybody to know that when I went home, I did the research, and I am not joining the Church of Scientology. So, I think that Maryland's doing something on Chris Shelton right now, because I guess Chris Shelton was a little bit bitchy about protesters out there on Easter. And again, this sounds like if you're not one of the actors, and it's like, hey, protesting is an action, folks. But there's one less person in Scientology because of what we're doing here in Chicago. And I think that's a big deal, right? That's really what I've said my objective was from the beginning. I didn't think that we were going to pull any legacy members out. I'm not going to complain if we do, but the idea that we're not allowing new members to come in is rather important to me. So, oh, this is great. Hopefully we can get those out on a video. But, and I'll also say that I could tell at least people paused when I would read the sign to them or show them the sign. There was the one couple, a young white couple. They were very well dressed, had their young child. Their little Easter basket was a little furry Easter basket, looked adorable. And I could tell when she walked in, she said to her husband, "This is kind of creepy." Now, I'm glad that she came to the realization this is kind of creepy, but she still walked in, right? So, the other news that was very tough to hear this morning was, on Natalie's second live, that what her and my Tony are going through right now, and hopefully we're all going to rally around and support her in whatever is necessary to make sure that she and my Tony get through the troubling times that are most likely ahead of them. So, hello, Deep. And Jen, thank you for coming in as well. All right, I am going to turn the camera around because we are now basically at the org. So, settings, camera, go the other way, camera. All right. We've got a senior member, and the guy with his flyers is sitting here, so I'll probably chase the flyer guy today. That other member I saw him on the train when I was leaving from Easter. He was getting off the train. Anything positive about the church? So we've got the flyers there, but we've got to hide the flyers, right? Because the propaganda doesn't work if you can see the propaganda. Let's go get the doors closed, and then I'll come back and make sure that we're not going to be able to pass out any flyers today. Yesterday, they also started leaving the door open with loud music. I don't think that was as much to give me the protest strike as to they didn't want to open. Anything positive to tell my people about the church? No, nothing positive. So, yep, they've got music on today again. So that seems to make them feel confident that they can come down or that they can leave the door open. But let's see how long they'll leave the blinds up. So this staff member was one of the ones that was in a dress yesterday. Ooh, the cafeteria is quite busy. And then remember that somewhere around 12:30 seems to be the shift change. So we're going to see people coming in and leaving right now. The flyer guy is still up there. I don't think I've had the attention of the person at the desk, so not sure what's going on there. 100% agree with this. And I'm going to say that I really love the idea that the mods are out there, right? They had the two I'm gonna say seminars, but let's just say ask me anythings or let me help you sessions last week, and I think that those were very powerful. So, oh, here we go. It just took her a while to get here, but she's here. Let's see if we can get a wave. Nope, no wave today. I got a wave yesterday. Thanks so much, Lavender. I'm going to stay here by the door for a little bit, just to see if anybody's like, if there's people that are coming in and going out. I still have eyes on. You can see up there the gentleman with the brown cap is the one that's going to be passing out flyers. If he moves from there, I'll go ahead up and frustrate or interbulate him as best I can. So, and yeah, thank you all for coming in. I'm going to say that while it's in no ways necessary, I do appreciate the people who have donated. It does make things easier. I've been getting the poster board, the signs, the train travel back and forth. So it really does help. It's something that makes me feel better about what's out here. I'm still going to tell you that the best thing about yesterday was when I got the message from the guy that said, I did the research after listening to you, and I'm not going in. So, morning, Sandy Lee. Hi, Hans. They do, so the door, they feel more comfortable with the door now again, and it's because they're pushing out music. So now it's just, I think it's just talking right now. Yeah, I couldn't tell. That sounded more like it was somebody talking like a speech or something like that. Yeah, I hope everybody did have a good Easter, however you celebrate. If you were here yesterday, you would have seen, maybe 10 families in that first hour walk in with children. There were a couple that were standing here earlier as well. And they were, now there's people walking up here. He's so engaged in that conversation, I don't think he's going to pass out flyers. But the people that were going in, I could tell that they slowed down, right? I don't think I stopped anybody from going in. I don't think that there was any shame there. We did see somebody who later on, after they had been in there for a while, they left and their car was parked right outside the org. And they said, were you recording me? And it's like, well, yes, I was recording you. Oh, there's our... Oh, he is going to close the door for us. Have fun at the cult. Oh, you may have just seen a sidearm there as well, right? But apparently they don't want us to have music. But the woman, when she got in her car, you were recording me? It's like, yep. Says, you can't record me. I was like, oh, I apologize. You were in public. Yes, I can record you. And yes, everybody on my channel saw you walk in and bring your child in there. So. Yeah, eventually I think, so the gentleman in the flannel up there, right, the older gentleman, and we've seen him several times. He's a big smoker. I think that he ascribes to L. Ron Hubbard's, the way not to get cancer, people get cancer because they don't smoke enough. Hey, Nance. So when I got home and I saw all the fun that was going on out in Los Angeles, that was rather enjoyable. And you know, if I got to choose my grandma, I'm picking Tori. So, um, absolutely true. Yep. If you can, head over to Nance's. Um, it's pretty impressive. I think we've got a large number of people out here. I know that Shannon is resting up right now. We've got Trashy V12 BMW, SRA, severe reality adjustment, Israel Brownfield, and you have to spell Israel very interestingly. Missed one. So the bald gentleman that you're going to see in a moment, who's and here's some staff folk coming down the street right now, right? The bald folk just fist pumped the guy with the flyers while they were down there. Care to share anything positive about the church? Still unable to come up with anything positive about your cult? I don't know if you heard the college age kid that walked by with a skateboard. He laughed when I said that. Hello, Cat. You know, I've emailed Trashy a couple of times, and sometimes it's probably easier for him than other times to respond, but I haven't gotten a response back yet. Hi, Monica. Thank you so much. You know, I look at this like voting. Um, the voting contests are won by those who show up, and this protesting is won by people who show up. So our flyer guy is on the move. If you don't mind, we're going to go follow him for a little while today. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw, but so of those last three that just walked in, the male, he's the one that tried to trick me into moving away from the door when they had the college recruits in there. But the other thing that he did yesterday was he offered me and my friend who are here one of the little bags of candy for the kids. So, hey, pleasant gesture. No, thank you. So it's possible. One of the things, there's a train station up here, and this is usually the train that I take to come into the city. And one of the places that our flyer guy might be going is to the train station. But the other thing that's kind of challenging here, well, not challenging, disturbing, is that this courthouse is really an immigration courthouse. And it's just full of people who, for the first time, are landing in America. So it's such a vulnerable group of people that are being handed out these flyers, and you know, somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want to help you as you move into a new country." You know, maybe there's some positive elements that you want to latch onto that. So it's just one of the tricks that they use to pull in new recruits. So the other day when I came downtown, he was already in this train station downstairs. Not sure if it's going to go down there or not right now. I'm going to do, well, one of my tricks that I use when I can't get across this light quickly enough is because of the subway, it goes underneath the street. So this is a free way to get to cross the street. So we're going down. I just want to see if he went through here. Yeah, I don't think. No, that was him. Yeah, he just went down to the platform. I've got to use my phone to go back into the platform, and I might do that. Let's see what we've got here. It's, what time is it? I think this is the time when we're going to see an awful lot of the staff coming into and leaving the building. I'll head back there. Yeah, so this is definitely that time of day that we're seeing staff members showing up and heading home. Hey, Ellie, how was it Reddit that you were kind of getting lambasted on yesterday? Yeah. Curious if that slowed down or not. Hello, Squirrel Squad Cam. All right, well, that I'm not happy about at all. It was some claim of the nature that she's like a fraudulent mod or something of that nature. That now, and I would do agree with that. I think that there's skateboard guy. He came without a skateboard today, though. I know you guys can't see as far as I can with this camera, and it's still somewhat frustrating that I can't switch back and forth. That's what I need to talk to Streamer about. Hey, can you make keyboard shortcuts to let me switch back and forth from camera zooms? Yeah, again, I'm not somebody who thinks that flame wars work out really well, but there's no shame in trying to defend people that you believe in, or when you think they're being wronged. One of those things that, with regard to the stuff that Trashy has, just that list of names is something that I would really love to get our hands on, because I want to be able to look them up on social media, and I want to see. You can easily do the searches in Scientology. What is it? Scientology Truth.org. Yep. So you're no longer hiding from the public. So you're proud you're supporting the church? Your children happy that you're supporting child abusers? Got another, I think behind the FedEx person is another staff person. So we'll see that very well. Care to share anything positive about the church? Is there anything positive about the church? No, nothing positive about the church? Yeah, 100%. Now, I think one of the things that's doing pretty well is that my mic also doesn't pick up that music. So their music's out pretty loud right now. Like I can hear it and I feel like I can tell I'm talking more loudly right now. But I don't think you guys are hearing the music very clearly. Listen, I think all you mods do a great job. And again, the idea that you're volunteering to do this and help us out, I don't have to pay attention to my chat. I don't think, by the way, it might be that you guys have protected me so well. I haven't really seen spam wars and trolls come into the space. I'm not somebody who wants to take away anybody's free speech. I don't want to see harassment in the chat. But one of the joys of having a smaller audience or a lower subscriber count is that I don't think that we've we're not a target for a lot of the trolls. So, and I love that we're seeing. So here's another one coming across the street. So remember, they've come out of Imprint, which is where they're staying. What, 6 to 9 people in a studio apartment. Additionally, there seems to be claims that they might be trying to take over the bottom floor of the org. So this person was here. She's the college recruiter night. So that's on college recruiting night. Anything positive to share with my audience about the church? Is there nothing positive about the church? Are you okay that females can't report sexual abuse? This is the DJI. Now, DJI, sorry. I have the first gen. I have heard people say that the second gen has a few problems. And since I've already got one, I just never really investigated any further. So I think this DJI one works pretty well. I'm not allowed to tell you I'm a robot. It's against my programming. Hello, Fuzzy. So I think that you're seeing that roller bag behind the one person, and we'd always hear from the second gens or the ex-Scientologists that that's usually their coursework that they're bringing home, taking back and forth from the org. I think I saw Korn actually go live this weekend as well. So, Korn's been awesome because she's always been out here supporting us, and I appreciate that. Israel, the same thing. Israel's trying to get to the point where he can go live. Steph, the writer. Now, Steph doesn't come out as much in protest, but she does find subjects to interview, and I like what she has to do there. Her and I are going to see if we can try and do some collaborative conversations, interviews. Not sure exactly what that is. Oh, there might be more than one Steph, but I think that Steph the writer is a Columbia student, um, just not positive. So this is very funny. They they open the door to check to see if I'm out here um, every couple of minutes, and I'm like, if the shades were up, you could see if I was out here. So it's just that maybe logic isn't the best forte for the Scientologists. So I'm not positive about this, but I think Danny might be originally from here, but they were just here to support us during the opening. So they went to Austin first, and then they came up here. And the reason that Danny has to travel back and forth now is that the detectives will only take interviews. He's got a complaint against. It looks like a PI that opened up a door on him, and he's got a complaint against this person. And the police won't let him video conference. They're forcing him to. Uh, they're forcing him to come to sit for a face to face. So that's another reason why you're probably seeing Danny in Chicago, related quite a few times. Absolutely true. Yeah, there's that too, right? They've got there's the bank of four cameras. You can't see them here at night. It's really fun to be here at night. You can see straight in because there's more light flowing out from the organization than going in. Um, so one thing that will have happened is when the person went down onto the train platform in the train station, he's got to pay the fee to get in there. So they're spending $250 to try and go hand out flyers. I haven't seen any flyers come down the street. Now, I would imagine that people are getting off the train, most likely um, have someplace to go. So it's unlikely they'd be rerouted just because they read a free personality test interview on that process. So I don't know if you can see right now, but the guard has headphones on. So this is a pretty good job, right? You have to watch that. Up, got our Bluetooth going. Uh, So boy, they are up and quick to help with the team when the team's got to do stuff. So, but lapdog up the wazoo. So just a shame. Uh, Again, we've got the Cult of Scientology, and as they play music, all I get to do is talk about all of their terrible crimes. So. One of the other things that's fun is that whoever did the frosting of the doors, they did a pretty bad job. Like there's some seams that they missed, so that's always fun to look at. Oh, good Lord, 80 people. This is awesome. I love that. I'll ask this again. What? I'm open to critical feedback. What are things that I could be doing better? What are some things you'd like to see? Oh, we've got another staffer coming in. He's getting on the phone. That's good, D. Thank you. Anything positive about the church you want to share? Well, they do grow them tall. I'll give you that. Oops, sorry. Yeah, and I think that Israel's channel is just his first and last name. Yeah, he immediately got on the phone and said, what time is it? So something to the reference of what time. And I don't know if, remember the old Nextels, one push, you could one push chat. So I don't know if they just got the phone open all the time, or how they're communicating, or if they've just got a, like one of those line chats that gamers would use to talk to one another. Sorry, and before we saw him interrupt me, I have Tori's affliction. I forget what I was talking about before I changed topics, but if there's other things you'd like to see, if there's other things that you think I can do better, definitely more than happy to hear that. One of the things that I really wished I would have known early on Sunday, as people were walking in, and Lori from Georgia was the one that brought this up, reminding people, don't give them your real information, right? Because they are going to come after you in that situation. Yeah, I agree with this, and I've got business cards that I'm having made up, and the business cards have a QR code on them it's going to go to a page on my site called Crimes of Scientology, and that's going to list, basically at the mass level all of the crimes, but then write individuals. I'm going to write individual stories on, Miriam, Serge, Laura, Bob Ferris, even Aaron, right? That he stayed in only because he didn't want to go through the disconnection. That might be a little bit outside my means. I'm going to need a few more donations for that. And Boo, there is a billboard out here that has been open or clear for quite some time. I'm going to walk up the street a little bit. It wouldn't be an overly effective one because it wouldn't be in the view of the people, the staff members. But if we look across the street, right, you've got that thin white line around the black sign there from Orange Barrel Media. I am having the signs remade because if you remember my original signs, they have the aftermath information on them. And listen, I want any way to help people out, but I'm going to have a hard time publicly publicizing those orgs, the aftermath org. I'm very frustrated by their tactics and their lack of transparency and their lack of diversity. That they have no empathy, and it's they should be the most empathetic. They've been through this, so I'll be much more happy with the SPTV Foundation. No problem. I will do that. What happens? I want to put 4 or 5 articles up before I do this, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not doing that. Now I've got the QR code already set, and it's linked to the page. But like Reese Reese's son is unable to talk to his. I don't know if they would call grandparents, but the people in his life that were very important to him. Huxley's no longer allowed to communicate with them. And in Aaron's case, right, that his mother-in-law, so I think Heather's parents, used to have a rental property right across from him. And when they'd come to the rental property, the kids couldn't even really talk to him. That That's how strong that disconnection was, and that was going to be a trouble for their. He knew it was going to be trouble for their family anyhow, because there are other siblings in Heather's family, and the parents would have to make a decision of, do I shun one child or do I shun the other child? Ellie, if somebody has a link, would posting it, would sending it via email be helpful, and not my email, because I'd be too active here. Yeah, yeah. Aaron's Dogs and SP. Um, Jeff, right? Jeff from, I'm going to say Vancouver, but let's say Canada just to be safe. Uh, he just recently kind of got declared, and I feel like he lost connection with his father. And I do love this, that the church doesn't make them disconnect. It's only that if you don't disconnect, we won't allow you to remain in the church. So I don't understand how that's not forcing you to do it, right? Um, that is compelling, and I don't care what you say, that's not that um, you've forced somebody to do something, even though you've given them a choice. The choice is not equitable. Free Goliath. The woman down here, her and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and at one point she said she had an interaction with the church, and just at a point in her life where it made an appealing, the church's propaganda was appealing to her, but she was there for a very short time, and very quickly left. So. Yeah, I definitely would like to get that. And if you can send me the link, I can't post it now because, again, it's just impossible for me to do um, uh, to do anything on my phone while I'm out here um, in that process. We think about some of the other child abuses. Tori, I don't. I think that Natalie went over a lot of them, but one of the things I watched Tori last night. When I can't sleep, she's just a riot to watch. But she had a very calming effect on the police, and very conversational, and went to him, and the police were saying, hey, you're trespassing, everything like that, or why is she protesting so loudly? And Tori just said, hey, do you have any children? And yes, I do. How old are your children? 5. Okay. When that girl right there was 5, she was made to lay the bricks on this street. She has every right to do that. It's a cult. Don't go in there. It's a cult. It's a cult. This church commits crimes. Yeah. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him when he comes out. Um, sorry. So Tori was saying, right, that you know that that girl has every right to be here and protest. She laid the foundation of this place. Literally laid the foundation of this place. I'm curious. Every once in a while, she comes out, and she's got her speaker is a 4x4 speaker. Um, yeah, yeah, I love that. So I don't know if many of my if many of the listeners right now are NCAA fans, but when I was younger, and by the way, they made the Final Four again. So NC State won the NCAA championships, boy, late 80s, early 90s. And Jimmy Valvano just goes, he's the coach, and he just goes wild on that floor. And a couple of years later, there's an SP. Well, Jimmy then contracts cancer, and it's a pretty aggressive cancer, and he's got a short period of time to live. And they go to the SP Awards, and I can't remember what award he got, but he won an award, and he's up there giving his speech. And during the speech, he says, there's a guy down here telling me I got to wrap this up because I'm almost out of time. It's a cult. It's 100% a cult. He goes, there's a kid down here telling me I got to wrap this up. I'm out of time. Let me tell you what out of time looks like, folks. And then it goes through his story about where he's at. So he says, now, and then he tells everybody, make sure that you're taking the most advantage of the time that you have. And that's kind of when I see Tory out there saying, you want to tell me you're going to trespass me? Go ahead. Let me tell you what trespass looks like. Yeah, as a Chicagoan, I will say that I was an odd person because I love the Steelers. So in the 70s, Bradshaw, Swan, Stallworth, Franco Harris, Ham, Lambert, Robin, Mike Webster. Love those guys. And I don't want to split the audience, but I just like the analogy of that idea that says, listen, when I've got such a short time left, I want to maximize that time. Do well there, Lavender. Curious to see if how long the guy stays in there, and if I get a chance to talk to him when he comes out. Very loud right now. Really? Darn it, I'm going to have to pay better attention. Thank you, commenter. Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing anything up the street. And one thing I'll say is, again, I haven't seen anybody walking down the street with flyers from the direction where the Scientologist who was handing out flyers was at. It's rather impressive that when you come up and you're talking to them, or I come up and they're talking to one another. When a Scientologist is talking to one another, they seem like normal people, right? They're, have a good day at the cult. You're okay that you're protecting rapists? I don't know if you watch that, but watch how everybody approaches this door who's in the church, that out of embarrassment, they walk as far away from the door as possible and then take a really quick turn to dive into the organization. I have some coming. I had stuff printed up before, but it was printed up and it had Aftermath, and I want to have the SPUTV Foundation on it. So we're making a change there. And then the other one is I want to put a QR code to a page that I can continually refresh with more updated news stories and just rotate through just some of the victims that we know, right? So the Lisa McPherson stories. I remember that there was somebody out in the Gilman Hot Springs that they found her in an electric vault. There's just so many things this church has done so terribly. Ah, so this guy has flyers. We're gonna play follow along for a little while. Howdy. I don't know if you saw, but he just pocketed his flyers. So this one's, so I haven't seen, and yeah, you can definitely tell, right? He was trying to glance back consistently as he walked away. This one's new. I haven't seen this person before. Yep. Yeah, they definitely have done that in the past. And yep, he definitely stuffed it in his pocket. And again, it's just out of shame, right? We can't let people know that we're part of the Church of Scientology. He's in the bus stop there. You might not be able to see it so well because there's so many signs here, but yeah, he's just standing there in the bus stop. If you ever want out, let us know. And freeloader debts are not enforceable. They can't make you spend your freeloader or pay your freeloader debt. And again, I hope everybody sees that I'm keeping a very, very large distance. He's passing out flyers from the Church of Scientology trying to get people involved in his cult. So that's why he's being followed. Okay. Did you notice that he just tried to enlist one of the citizens of the community?
No, he just said he don't like being followed.
Yeah. Because he's doing something wrong. I don't know if you guys heard this, but he told the other passerby that I was following him. And again, I hope that you all see I'm a very respectful distance away. You notice how he waved me on? And again, just if you're just tuning in, the gentleman ahead of me is a Scientologist. He walked out of the church with a handful of the free personality test flyers. He knew that, or he saw that I was following him, so they're now tucked in his pocket. A little while back, he tried to solicit a citizen to say, "Oh, there's a person following me back there," and then I was able to explain to the person that yes, I'm following the person who's passing out flyers from the cult. I don't think that people that should be able to pass around cult flyers. Ma'am, he's with the Church of Scientology. He belongs to the Cult of Scientology. He's got flyers in his pocket that he's trying to hand out to people. Okay. You can try to get that to stick, but I'm not harassing you. You're approaching me. You're approaching me. Yeah, you're approaching me. You're approaching me. Very possible. I think that I'll be able to hold it up. So what? Just like on the other side, when I was in this is the red line. When you're in the blue line and the red line, they're underground. So it's very likely that he's just going to walk over to the other side, and walk up out that door. But again, I want to keep a respectful distance. And I'm going to say that I'm not as much concerned that you're right. I do think that he will try to submit a false report. We've recorded everything. Well, you guys haven't recorded everything. I've recorded everything. So yeah, he said you were harassing me when I was telling that lady how to get on the bus. Now, just so we're clear, you can see that lady all the way up there at Congress or Ida B. Wells Street. So she was not getting on a bus. It was absolutely a ruse. And that's a correct statement. I've been on a sidewalk. I have not threatened him, whereas the other night when the Scientologist was following Trashy and SRA, they did know their name and they were reporting them to others. So that was a much more threatening reaction. They were walking in furtive aggressive at a furtive aggressive speed. At no point have I tried to rapidly approach this person. So. Yeah, I did see the waving. Sorry about this. I did see that, Chef. Now, one thing that you can do, although he would have had to pay a fare again, if he pays the fare, he can walk down to the next street. So this, in the middle of this subway runs directly underneath the street, and the train platform runs for a block and a half. So you might not be able to see it from here, but at that next street, there's another one of these stairwells up. But in order for him to get to that, he'll have to pay a fare. That is possible, but I'll say that they're only one block down, and I usually get really, really good reception there. But you're right. If I would have seen it flaking out, I definitely would have done something else. Yeah, Roxy, this is one of the things that we've made them close that door for so long, and we said, hey, you're a retail space. Why in the heck would you not keep that door open? The shades is another one, right? Why are you pull the shades down, right? I'm gonna head back there. I'll let this guy see if he can pass out his quota. He might be on the phone, and it's very possible that the Cult of Scientology is watching this. So they're just telling him to hedgehog until I leave. Corey, you'd be surprised. Now, I do, that they have always kept that door closed as soon as I show up. If you go back to the beginning of this video, you'll see that they closed it and then they reopened it. And the same thing on Easter. They closed it and then they reopened it. What they do is they try to put music out through there such that they can get me on a copyright claim. And a couple of things we found. My mic is really not picking up the music out of that door, so that's one thing. But as long as you continue talking over the music, you won't get the copyright claim, or you can easily contest the copyright claim. It's not that bad right now. It's last couple of weeks were much worse than this. It's probably 45 right now. It's gray though. It's very, very gray today. We've got a bunch of single-digit percentage chance of rain probably all day long. Yeah, this is something that I've been saddened by, right? The idea that how many young people I've seen in this organization, whether it's the college kids, yesterday was children, right? Families with children, bring them in just so they can get some free jelly beans. When I first started coming to this location, I was seeing an awful lot of young people because most of the veteran staff members were still up in Lakeview, and they were on their recruiting tour down here. I didn't, when you talk to a Columbia student, they'd say, oh, it's universal. We all hate them. Like nobody likes Scientology. But 3 weeks ago, and you'll see on if you either search for a short or if you search for the video that's titled, it's got the title of Columbia in it. They've got recruiters that are students, so they've definitely twisted minds. Now, one of the things I want to remind you is that we're all anti-Scientology. We have heard this story. We have heard the disgusting things that go on in that space. It's very easy for us to understand or think, well, how could anybody fall for this? It's just absolute ludicrous. And if you take that personality test, it's 200 innocuous questions, and it's going to show you a waveform when you're done answering it. And it's going to be things like, oh, it looks like sometimes you get angry, or it looks like sometimes you're sad, or it looks like sometimes you're this. Well, I've got a book that'll help you. And they're common sense helper tools, right? These are not, I think earlier today I heard somebody say, L. Ron Hubbard isn't the first philosopher to come up with this shit. It's been around forever. So it's a rather appealing element. And you tell a young person, we're going to be here to save the world, that's a compelling story, right? So it's not hard to understand how they can get their claws in people. It's not until you're very far into the church that you realize what you've gotten yourself into. All right, I'm going to go back just to make sure that the shades are back down, and then I'm going to head back over to work. I really appreciate, the people that have been in here right now, the support. It's awesome. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. If you're just now coming in, on Easter Sunday, somebody contacted me and said that it was somebody who on an earlier video I had seen being routed or body handled by the church. And he said, hey, because of you, when I went home, I did the research and I'm not joining the church. And hey, just one win, that's good enough for now. It wiped out all of the sadness I had with all the children that walked in here yesterday. So yeah, their blinds are still down. Oh, what I was saying earlier, that officer's just sitting there with his headphones on. And he's not he is an officer, but right now he's a private citizen working for a security company. Jules, that's excellent. I appreciate that. I think that one of the things that helps me out the best is Michael, who's oftentimes in our chat. He is our Wikipedia. Whenever we say something or we're stuck on, oh, what was that person's name, or what was this action, or what was that activity, he's always on there for us, Michael Andreas. So love that. And I appreciate you guys all commenting. Yeah, right. Just your comments are showing that there's engagement and interaction. And I love that. I feel like it's a useful element. And you're driving me more to continue to come out here and try to thwart the efforts of this organization. What else have we got today? One of the things that I kind of also want to say is every once in a while I will close the stream early, but I'm almost always telling you that, hey guys, I've got to take care of something. I want you to know that I am very much, if I'm telling you that, I'm the one stopping it, and I'm not in danger or risk if that's occurring. So I appreciate everybody's concern. If I end the stream abruptly, more often than not, it's something to do with my home life management stuffs. So that's, I appreciate your concern, but never worry about that. The other thing that I will say is I always leave the org in a different way, and I go through buildings that have several egress routes. So I'm fairly careful about making sure that my 6 is clean before I go anywhere near what I think is a safe space. All right. Hey, Monica. I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Again, I did put a new short out there. I felt good about this today. So if you get a chance to, go ahead and look at the short. And I will try to get a hold of Trashy to see if we can find some more of that information that he's got in the that he got out of the trash. Thank you all, and have a great afternoon.